Hi, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Let's jump right in. Today is going to be a collective check-in. This is a really delicious reading. For the collective I'm reading for today, this group has just gone through a massive portal. This group has just accomplished something massive on their journey. This is a time of rest, a time of healing, a time of integration, a time of rest and accessing wonder. This is a time of gathering your harvest. This is a time of rising to meet the quantum field. Rising up to meet the quantum field on the field's terms, not your own. You've just made it through one rotation of this hero's journey and you've arrived back home. And maybe you're not quite in the celebration stage yet, but you were in that moment when you first arrive home. If you've ever been on a very long trip and you finally get home and you could shower in your own shower and sleep in your own bed. There's such a delicious homecoming. A cycle has been completed, and in this rotation, you are able to access crystal clear vision. What does that mean? Your third eye is clear and you can access intuition and wise discernment. You are allowing this new sense of harmony to take up space in the void where other things have recently left. This is so good. It's funny, I've never had a reading like this before where it just feels like one narrative. Even though there's a lot of cards on the table, it really, all of the cards, every single one is sort of just another flavor of, it's so much congratulatory energy. It's so much achievement, luck, possibility, reflection, wonder, healing, hope. I'm really drawn to this very sweet rainbow card. It's a picture of a refrigerator with, it looks like a children's artwork on the fridge. And thinking about, as a parent, when you come home and you see your child's artwork on the fridge, and what do you usually hang on the fridge? You hang on the fridge these moments of pride, right? These accomplishments, these moments of your inner child's creation. And we just did a reading yesterday on inner child. It's funny because in the unconscious, we actually have practice self-love, nurture your inner child. So if you didn't see the reading yesterday, maybe go back and listen to that inner child reading. Or if you did and you're wondering, why would this be in the unconscious? I mean, only you can answer that question. Is there something that your inner child is needing today or in this moment? Is there some words of encouragement that your inner child needs in this moment or from the past? Is there something that you achieved as a child that your parents never really celebrated? It is time now to reclaim that celebration and throw a massive party for your inner child or inner children. Yeah, there's this delicious safety dropping in. There's this wonderful, wonderful, sorry, I just got really nauseous all of a sudden. I'm not sure quite why. Some of you have been on guard for most of your life. It's exhausting to the nervous system to be in that hypervigilant, dysregulated state. And whether you had acute trauma or long-term low-grade trauma or You're just a creature that exists in this culture and space and time. I believe that everyone has tasted a flavor of trauma. One of my mentors, James Finley, always says that trauma is disconnection from spiritual experience. So by his definition, the majority of us have often experienced trauma, right? It's the trauma of separation. There's this separation anxiety that we were once part of the infinite, once part of the quantum field, and then we are ripped from that. Or the perception is that we're ripped from this quantum field, birthed into a body, and then we suffer through that separation. First separation wound is between God and us, or the field and us, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. Second separation is between the womb. I didn't even realize we have this womb card here. And she's actually holding a nest with 3 eggs in it. That's really interesting. And she's also cloaked. I don't know if you could see this blue here. She's cloaked with the cosmos. It's a picture of almost like a cloak, but there's stars on it. So there's something here about, again, honoring the original separation. So first separation is us and the cosmos. Second separation is between us and the womb, the cozy, warm, delicious space that we were cooking in for 9 months. The third separation is that which between us and our mother, right? That individuation from that moment where mother is no longer taking care of us like she did as a newborn. And that can happen at many different ages. And then there's the next separation between when you're exiting adolescence and coming into adulthood. Maybe it's around 18 or so. And you are thrust into the world away from your parents' safety, maybe even living outside of the family home. And with each separation, there's this call to a deeper disillusionment, this call to even deeper individuation. Right? We are becoming individuals. We are learning how to define ourselves apart from all of these things, from parents, from family, from country, from culture, from lineage, from our jobs, from our relationships. We're learning to become an individual soul without needing the cloak of these labels to protect us or to speak for us. You know, it's so easy for the majority of our early years, as we're developing this ego, we're developing all of these labels, right? All of these identifiers, the things that we identify self as, and allow the culture and the external world to identify us as. And slowly but surely we come to the realization, right? We have that awakening moment where we realize we are not these things, and we have to individuate and try to define self and God, feel worthiness in the face of all of that disillusionment. Again, another rite of passage of, can you hold your center for love of self and other in this flavor of chaos? Who are you without your job? Who are you without your family? Who are you without these labels? What is left over at the end of the day? Are you, am I Karen, who has a YouTube channel, who studied transpersonal psychology and women's studies, and who worked in healthcare for 15 years, and who is a Reiki master teacher, and is a coach? And am I these things? Well, if all of them went away tomorrow, what's left? Who am I? Well, I am a kind human. I have an open heart. I am an empath. I am abundant in my thinking. I am aware of our oneness. I am love. I am loving awareness. It's like this practice of stripping away all of these labels and all of these attachments that we perceive define ourselves. But again, you're being asked to individuate and see what's left. What is left in the soul when none of the matter, none of the 3D realm of matter stuff is interfering? We have be brave and honest. Harness this mystical power. You're being called to move in a new direction. And take note in this new direction, because you are a new person with new access to gifts, powers, different awarenesses. Take note of any intuitive messages that come through during this time. You are being asked to be fearless and stand strong in the face of this disillusionment. You are protected. You have your the entire grid at your back. You're being called to drop your shields because it is safe to do so. I'm very driven by this card. Hold on, I need to look at it closely. I'm trying to see. Oh no, it's not coming out. Okay. I was trying to see if this woman is holding something or if that was a hole through her hand. Either way, it doesn't matter. What it reminded me of was the stigmata. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the stigmata, but the stigmata are the wounds of Christ. There's some, and again, this is under the Roman Catholic tradition that this is observed. That there's some devotees that are so one with Christ that they actually, the wounds of Christ himself manifest in their bodies. I'm trying to think of some of them. Padre Pio was probably, for me, I would say he's the most famous one that people actually know. His wounds bled for years and years and years. And it was said that his wounds gave off this incredible fragrance of roses, and it's just one of those mystical experiences. And many scientists have tried to study to understand, like, can we prove that this is something real or not? And it's just one of those mystical experiences. Any regular person with a regular wound, it would eventually get infected, right? Someone cannot bleed for many, many years without having some other physiological affect showing up, right? But these people, these mystical creatures who have had different versions of the stigmata, will bleed for years with no other repercussions or consequences. It's a really mystical experience. And so maybe I'm bringing this up because it's something, it's a physical manifestation of this divine support. That's for someone. I just had to share that. On a personal note, I've been obsessed with the stigmata since I was 14 years old. I'm 39 now. It's been a while. And I am filled with awe and wonder at these mystical experiences that no one can seem to explain. It's pretty wild. And usually these people that are stricken with the stigmata are often tested in very aggressive ways. Padre Pio famously battled the devil for years and years and was heavily tormented and fought this fight with the devil for so long and finally overcame the devil, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that meant to him. I don't know if it was a demonic force. I don't like to use the word demonic, but it is an energy. There was an energy that had to be confronted and overcome. So maybe I'm sharing this with you because, like I said in the beginning, there's a huge collective that has overcome so much. What devils have you overcome in the last year, 5 years, 10 years? Where did you start? Where are you now? What can you do now that you couldn't do 10 years ago? There's something here about honoring how far you've come and honoring the new possibilities because of the work you've achieved over this last rotation. Okay, let's see. Yeah, in the unconscious, we have this resilience card. We also, let me just put all these out. We have the drought and we have what does this say? Be devoted and committed. It's really understandable, and it's very easy that when we are met with extreme trials and tribulations that really rattle our cage, it's very easy not to have the resilience. It's very easy to give up. It's so simple to turn away from the most difficult work, because it's the most difficult work. It's the most painful. It's the thing that takes up the most space in our hearts, minds, and bodies. It's really hard to stay devoted and committed to this path. But yet, for some of you, if you find yourself continually meeting the same adversity over and over again, then the divine is gifting you this experience, this lesson, until you learn it. And that's really painful to hear at some points, but it's also, I have found personally that that's just true. We continue to get different flavors of the same exact chaos until we are able to look in the mirror, understand our pattern, and make a different choice. And that does require profound resilience. So if you are struggling right now, honor that this is hard. Honor how you feel. If you want to give up, name it and claim it. The sooner that you speak truth and just sit in your authentic presence of what's really happening, the sooner that you can actually ask for support with that specific thing. But if you never acknowledge this thing, if you continue to push it in the shadows, it will stay there. It will occupy that space and replace, it'll take up the space that something else that's waiting to come into your consciousness. It won't allow it to. Sorry, I don't know why I said that sentence like that, but my brain is a little choppy with these messages today. Okay, let's get some inner child cards. Anything else for this divine collective? We have, you can do hard things. It is not impossible as it may feel. I've never had such a cohesive reading before. Normally there's many different narratives flowing, but this was just such a lovely reading. And for me, that's also a symbol that it makes sense that it's this simple, because you are actually this supported. You are so divinely supported in this transformation. Then we have, it is never truly the end. Beloved, in this, everything will be okay. And then you are enough. You do not have to give more. Okay, let's get some spirit messages. Anything else for this collective? What do they need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet? Anything else, Spirit? Okay, we have intuitive nudges. Intuition is the language of the soul. We are all born aware with a profound sense of inner knowing. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we possess, which keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and to our divine spirit. A message I'm getting in this as well is that in this time of rest and recuperation, walk gingerly through your life. Walk lightly, almost with temple feet. I was once at a retreat, and one of the facilitators would yell at us if we were not walking with temple feet in the temple, which means walk lightly, walk intentionally, as if you bring your entire consciousness to every step. Feel the floor as your big toe hits it first, then, the top part of your foot, and then your heel. Pay massive, radical, ruthless attention to every single step. There's something here about, in this time of recuperation, to bring full awareness to the body's wisdom, to how your body feels in spaces. How does it feel to occupy this space as this new hero of this journey? You are this hero who just went on this profound journey. You've just accomplished the impossible, or what previously you have perceived as impossible. How does it feel to be you now? There's almost a reintroduction to self at this point. There's this new harmony that wants to move in. What's really interesting here is I keep staring at this veiled card right here. It's the fog card. Yes, there is something. Think about when, let me think of a good analogy. I might not be able to think of one. Think about when you're driving or when you're walking in the fog. You really can't see that far ahead of you. You are forced to only look down and maybe a few feet in front of you. So there's something here about bringing your total awareness to just where you are in this moment and maybe only a couple feet in front of you, to not get distracted by trying to forcefully integrate your journey or do more work or understand what happened to you. This is a time of rest. This is a time of deep surrender and creating space so that the divine can integrate this for you. Any sort of inquiry you have about what you just went through, chalk it up to, or give it up to the divine, right? Offer it up is the phrase I'm looking for. Give it to the divine and say, please integrate this for me. Please make sense of this for me. And when you've reached your conclusion, please gift me with that awareness. You don't have to do this hard work anymore. You're allowed to sit back, relax, enjoy the joy that comes in the present moment. Oh my God. I didn't even look down yet. It says embrace the moment. It says embrace this day, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you're changing your energy, right? You have to recognize that you are not who you were. The entire core of self, the axis in which your soul is spinning has shifted so that the longitude and latitude of self that you once knew is no longer. So you're almost forced to surrender because this is a new terrain for you. Okay, what else do we have? We have stay connected and serenity. We are all born connected to spirit, often known as divine source. Yet many of us have a tendency to pull away from this connection as we journey through life in the physical world. Now is an important time to reconnect with source. These messages are exact reflections of what we've just shared here. It's beautiful. Let me read the Serenity card. Actually, wow, these cards are new for me, so I'm still taking in the imagery. I can really see, I don't know if you can make it out on camera, but he's up to water, up to his chest. And there's a little, right where his heart is, there's this sort of sun. It looks like the sun is trying to rise on the horizon of his heart. Serenity. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. This is such a profound affirmation for the work that we've been doing together. The work that we've been doing together has been learning how to get radically present with self, to surrender what is flowing through our vessel, to surrender it back to the quantum field so that we can remain an empty channel, an empty vessel, so that quantum knowledge, gnosis, can flow through us unobstructed, so that we can act on these things without any sort of interference. Okay, it's a lot. That was a really heavy moment. Sorry. Let's see, do we want it? Let's get some, I want to get a wizard card. We haven't gotten these in a while. Okay, anything else for this collective? Anything else we need to know? Whoa, okay, hold on. Bear with me. We have Spiral of Life, movement, opening, unfolding. Absolutely. Seal of Indivisible Visions, psychic vision, hidden meetings, dream reading. And adenine and thymine, duality, contrast, trust, and balance. Okay, 3 perfect kind of capstone messages for this reading. Again, what did we talk about? We talked about that you are in this place of integration and that you do not have to take an active role. This is not time for you to penetrate the work that you've done. This is coming home after a long journey and relaxing, allowing family and loved ones and community to take care of you. The spiral is turning around you. You do not have to turn the spiral. This will unfurl for you. The divine will, chew up all of this deliciousness and put it in a form that you can understand easily and clearly. Honor and trust in the balance of things. Again, we're getting another message that some of you may be receiving guidance in dream space, in altered states of consciousness. So again, just a little reminder to keep a notepad and a pen by your bed. Try not to use your phone, because using your phone sometimes takes you out of that beautiful in-between world dream space. So write down, remember, ask yourself the question first, what was the overall feeling of the dream? What did I feel in the dream? And then the next question is, if these characters all represent a part of self, what part would they be? We have another message again around some of your gifts may be coming online. This is coming back around. This started maybe like 2 months ago, where the clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairsentient, any of the clair gifts might be coming online for you. And I understand and honor that sometimes this can feel a little scary or disorienting. So again, take this stuff with a grain of salt. Allow yourself to be open to it. If you do have a fear point, get really clear on what it is. And get really clear. Remember, you have free will. You don't lose your free will in the realm of spirit. You still have it. So if something weird happens and the vibe isn't right, you can wield your consciousness and free will and say, I do not welcome any entities here. I do not welcome you. I do not consent to this experience. Please leave. If anything crazy like that happens, I've been visited by entities before, and they were all positive spirits. They didn't visit to cause harm. I didn't get any information from them or wisdom. It was just kind of like a visitation. I've also been visited by my ancestors and my relatives that I have lost in this lifetime. And yeah, it can be a really disorienting, jarring experience. But again, never be scared. You could always surround yourself with golden, loving light. I do that before I do any readings. I light a candle and I say, God, surround this session with golden, loving light. Allow only messages of the highest and best good to come through for the highest and best good of ourselves and the planet. I just say that because for me, that's my symbol. That's my golden bubble of protection. Okay, is there anything else we want to get? This is a really intense reading, guys, in the best of ways. You know what I'm feeling, actually? I think I'm feeling the exhaustion from some of you that have journeyed for so long. There's this culmination of energy. I'm very drawn to this vortex image with what looks to be this kind of eye in the center of this kind of quantum spiral here. Okay. Okay, this is a heads up for some of you. Some of you may be fatigued by the awareness that may arise. Remember, you can communicate with the other side. You can if things are coming too hard and fast and you can't really make sense of them, which happens often on this path, you could say, Spirit, can you slow down, please? Because I'm not able to perceive at this speed. Please give me one awareness at a time. You have more control than you think over this information, over these experiences. And then the last thing I will say is that you are again being invited to invite wonder into your life. You are being, it's so funny. I have this image that you are being invited to a dinner party of awe and wonder. Imagine a dinner party of awe and wonder. What comes up? What is your mind conjuring up when I say that? It's funny, the second it came out of my mouth, I thought of the tea party in Alice in Wonderland and just how crazy it was. And, it's the Mad Hatter and that whole thing. And so I'm just curious, what would a dinner party of awe and wonder be like in your mind, in your heart, in your soul? I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a really beautiful way to end. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope this was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.